Honorable Kapinga at the time sent an apology because he was bereaved. So we'll start our proceedings today with the administration of oath of allegiance for Honorable Kapinga before he takes his seat in the House. Oath. Clerk.
I, Kenny Utiro Kapinga, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Botswana, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of Botswana as by law established. So help me God.
Re mototlege Kenny Kapinga a ikanisiwa jalo pele ga tiro ya palamente simologa ka one a seka a nna le sebaka seo sa go ka ikanisiwa yalo mo nakong e ke yone ya gore go helelediwe go ruragadiwe go digelwe gone go ikanela go tsaya maikano a tiro ya go direla tšhaba eno ke go netefatsa gore botlhe ba ba mo teng ga ntlo e ba tsere maikano a ya ka haele matshwanedi re bana yalo re Kenny Kapinga a sa tswa go dira yalo kana sa bona sebaka seo mana konye ka hantle ga dikago tsa palamente motho wa gaetso tsholofelo ke kwa godimo e le tsholofelo a gore tautona a ba goroga.
Went to cabinet announcements. I have since allocated sitting to honorable members in accordance with standing order 14.1. Please proceed. The sitting arrangement is subject to subsequent meetings of the Business Advisory Committee and further consultations with the leaders of political parties represented in Parliament. Honourable members, I have since received communication from the Ministry of State President to the effect that Honourable Moeti Caesar Mohasa has been appointed Leader of the House in accordance with Standing Order 8. I have further been informed that Honorable Sem Dihwa, MP for Boteti West, is nominated Government Whip. Honorable members. Honourable members, I'm happy to announce that I have also received similar communication from the opposition bloc. I'm in possession of a letter from the Botswana Congress Party, the main opposition in this House, that they have since appointed Honourable Dumelan Saleshando, Member of Parliament for Maun North, as Leader of Opposition in accordance with Standing Order number 9. And Honorable Katapila Kainangura Hikwama as Opposition Whip in accordance with Standing Order 10. You have already joined me in congratulating the aforementioned members of Parliament on their new appointments, and we welcome them to the structures of Parliament governance. You know that there will be members of an important committee of Parliament, which is the Business Advisory Committee. Honourable members, I'm pleased to inform you that the President of the Republic of Botswana, Mr. Duma Boko, will address this assembly later in the afternoon today at 1440 hours. The proceedings of the House will therefore be suspended until 1440 hours. We accordingly adjourn.
Motsamaisa dipuisano tsa palamente a sa tswa go rola dipego tse di botlhokwa tseo tota a itsese setšhaba a itsese palamente le setšhaba sa lefatshe leno gore mo palamenteng ye ya bolesome le boraro leader of the house jaaka ha ile tsamaiso o tlhophilwe jalo gore tlabele motlotlege moeti mohwasa yo ileng ene tona ka go tsa merero ya ga tautona me resamdigwa mo palamente wa ka kwa boteti elene a tlhophilweng jalo go nna whip me ka go letlhakoreng la kganetso leader of opposition pero ele gore tlabele re motlotlege dumelang sa leshando me ha whip kako opposition e tlabele re hikuama me ke go gakola motho a gaetso tshwantsho se se bonang seo ke hela ha pele ga dikago tsa palamente mephato ya itshireletso mephato ya sesole e setse ye me malala o tswe ka jana motsotso mongwe le mongwe tota ke se ka re motsotso mongwe le mongwe e tla re metsotso e le 20 pele ga nako ya boraro 1440 metsotso e le 20 pele ga nako ya boraro e be motlotlege tautona advocate Duma Boko a goroga tota ebile a rola a pego eo mme ke go gakolle gore ka kwano ke santse ke na le rekabo moseki e le moitsana pe wa ditso tsa ditlhabololo re bua yalo ka tiragalo e iragalang mo tsatsing la gompieno Ramoseki Ramona jalo leader of the house we emisitse tiro ya palamente kana kwana adjourned re ya re libilialo nako ya 1440 jaaka ha tlhalositse e le yone nako e tlabong tautona a rola yalo pego ya botsogo ja setšhaba right nya ke motsotso ke go fanse baka le wena gore o tshwaele mo
okay yeah well I think it's a very happy day for many. I think Botswana ba le bantsi go gae they've been looking for a moment like this. 58 years is a long time. There's not been any change of government, but mo bogompienong we have a change of government, which for me is a good thing, considering that we are a democracy. A functional democracy should change governments regularly. And importantly for Botswana, it gives them the confidence once in a while they can try a new party, they can try new things, because the danger
according to what they consider serves the interests of the nation,
what serves the best interests I think I think a lot of people are happy, visibly happy. Wherever you go, you see happy people. But and I think, like we keep on saying, it's a time for change. We are going to see several changes, and the State of the Nation today gives the President an opportunity to lay down those changes. What are the changes going to be? Because we expect a shift from the way that things have been done into a new way of doing things.
Let's talk about just that, the shift, the change in that 58 years of the governance of the Botswana Democratic Party. In that 58 years, some level of progress has been attained by the Sovereign Republic of Botswana. And at this point, coming into the governance, to the governance of Botswana with the whole set of promises that are the social contract with the nation, with the electorate, just how much is it I don't want to use the word safe, but how much is it feasible, for one, or how much is it even to be expected to change? Are we expecting a sort of upheaval, or there's some level of convergence where perhaps the two administrations would, there'll be some sort of continuity?
Yes,
programs and projects and stuff.
I think in a lot of things we are going to experience continuity, and then in some things we are going to see change, and this is change that I think is needed. If you look at things like the economy, we need change in the economy. This country has got high inequality. We need to see change there. We need to see the closing of the gap between the poor and the rich. We need to see that gap being closed. We need to see a change in terms of the numbers, particularly young people, the youth. Right. We need to see that number coming down, because currently we have a big population of young people that is not working, and that is dangerous for us and could possibly cause problems for this country going forward. So we expect to see those kind of changes. Not everything has been bad in 58 years. I don't think we should be selling that message that everything has been bad. There's been a lot that has been achieved in the 58 years. But I am of the view that even though we had achieved so much, we had reached a point of stagnation.
Let's talk about that. I'd like for us to come to that, because I think in fair judgment, one would perhaps observe that the past two administrations were embattled with quite a number of global events that perhaps might have slowed down whatever intention that they had. But let's talk about just that it wasn't all doom and gloom. Where did we start seeing this stagnation?
Well, I think, yes, indeed, like you say, the past two administrations have suffered a lot of natural disasters. One, the Khama administration started off with challenges to economy. There was a global economic meltdown.
Absolutely.
And that took us a long time to get out of. But it's something that we eventually got out of, and we should be thankful for that administration and thankful to God that we made it out of that. It was the financial prudence that this country has built over the years that helped us to escape on Ematata. Coming to the era ya Ramasisi, we saw challenges in terms of COVID, which he also, I think, in my view, he largely did well in terms of addressing that challenge. So the government did very well. Botswana were prioritized, and indeed we lost some people, but many lives were saved. Yeah. So Reboni progress, even though there were so many challenges.
The Ukraine
other
war
countries
also.
Now, they fell into the pit. Everything was destroyed during the 2008 or so global financial meltdown. COVID, they failed. But the country that we have built for ourselves, Botswana, has been able to
go suta mo go ntse go ha parlamenteng mebile ke bona motsamaisa dipuisano tsa parlamente a tsamela hale ke dimela gore gongwe motlotlegi tautona wa goroga le go tswa mo parlamenteng ke bona batlotlegi ka re batla tswela hantle motho wa gaetso ha o re le gona o kopana le rona ga ke nosi ke na le Sililong Kabetse ke na le wa Mekhasudi ke rata gore gongwe ke ka garana go le gongwe hela le bone ba go lekudisa motho wa gaetso gore ha ba ementeng ba bona eng o Sililong Kabetse o bona eng ka ko pina ya setšhaba motho wa gaetsho o e ka jalo bokao jwa Mokare National Pride gore ke motsotso o tlotlometseng go le ka he o re tsena mo gone re sologela gore ha re sena go amogela jalo pina ya setšhaba e be le gore tautona advocate Duma Boko e be le ka yone nako e leng gore o tla ba tsamaya jana a tlhatlhoba mephato ya itshireletso o sologetse gore ba ile gore ba tlhatlhoba mephato ya itshireletso pele ga ka tsamaela gone ka ha parlamenteng mme ha ile ha dikarolo tsa parlamente motho wa gaetsho se se diragalang ba tlotlege botlhe tota ba thologetse hantle ga parlamente ke dumela ile go amogela ene motlotlegi tautona ba tsamaela jalo mephato ya sesole
Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief, may I have the lead to of justice.
Mototegi tautona Advocate Duma Boko jaaka ha digela yalo go tlhatlhoba mephato ya itshireletso gora gore ya ntiro ya letsatsi tla simologare mosekere ka solohela eng gongwe mo go State of the Nation address ye mototegi tautona a tlogang a rola
emma ke solohela gore mo puong ye tautona tabong a re ba hapele today re solohele gore o ta bua ka mathata a lebagane le hatshile tota ya la konthema ke re tauto ne tekodiso ya gore the government system or the government machinery kana government ka boene o ntsa tsamaya yang mo ngwageng o hitileng from this time last year to now re swanetse go utwa tekodiso e tetseng ka botalo gore re ha kae jaaka ke ne ke supile earlier ke gone mo go ta re bolelang gore ya no go eng ko pele re dira eng.
Right.
So that is very important. Me ra go utwa dilo tse dintsinyana in today's SONA. I think ra go utwa issues tse di buang to economic diversification, ra go utwa issues related to foreign policy issues,
right,
international relations, security issues, ra go utwa di khantse di buang ka business environment, how do we cultivate the ground to favor business people or ba create ditiro ra go utwa dikgang tse di buang ka bo civil society. What is the role of civil society in the development of this country? Bangwe ba rena ba dumela gore civil society has got a major role to play in the development of this country. Bontsi ja sebaka re bua hela ka private sector re sa bui ka civil society. So tshologelo ke go rutwa ka civil society, re tshwanetse re rutwe gape ka democratic reforms ke eng se sang go change, especially on issues of accountability. Government wa go na open and transparent ka ditsela tse di ntseng jang. Ha o ka lemoga UDC
ene ta utona o bile ka go dirisa mahoko a gago a re tla re so hela robust institutions.
Robust institutions.
Right.
Ene ke batla gore ke be ke ta ke bua ka institution le ithotong phese baka ke bua ka mosola wa di institution, why we need robust institutions to have a thriving democracy, to have a thriving economy.
Right. Ke lebile bo bega dikgang ja ka ha bo itlola, ke lebile bo bega dikgang ja rona mono gae, ke lebile bo bega dikgang ja mahatshe ene motlotlege tautona o setse a tsametse ha go mo tsamaisa dipuisano tsa parlamente ke ya ka ha o bona motho a gaetso mo tshwantsong seo ba tlotlege go tswa mo parlamenteng ba thologetse hantle go felegetsa kana go amogela jalo motlotlege tautona jaaka ha tla ba ya go kopana le bone mo teng ga ntlo ya parlamente go rola yalo State of the Nation address. Nngwe ya tse di duleng di papametse ele di solofetso tsa Umbrella for Democratic Change ke ditiro. Jobs, higher paying jobs, more quality jobs, more diversified jobs. Ke ra ha ke ngathaela go le go nyenyane go tswa mo manifesto. Perra ke batla go tswela gone ho.
Manifesto wa UDC o bua thata ka ditiro ke boa maruri ene mo teng ga manifesto wa UDC ba bua ka ha bang go thama ditiro tse ka teng ba bua ka ha eleng gore there is a talk of 5 mega companies at the scale of Botswana or bigger than Botswana. One of these companies, what I know is that it will be dealing in issues that green economy. And babua gore from the green economy ha ke tshwara sente ba ka produce 10,000 jobs. Green economy go twa ditiro tse di tshwanang le bo go sela matlakala go processa matlakala go dira solar related businesses tsone dio tshwanetse ke dio tse leng gore ko mahatsheng a mangwe tse di diraga me ke itumelela gore ke bona mo manifestong wa UDC ba di ba hapele ga rona gore ke dio dingwe tse di re ta bonang di diragala mo pusong ya bona. So they have talked about that.
Right. Gongwe bile ha ke go tlatsa gone ho tse bangwe ba le bantsi ba di lemogang kana ba buang ka tsone kana ba khatlakala go bua ka tsone wa mile ka dikatso tsa bana ba madikolong tse di kgolwane ke ra manifesto wa ba wa mathulaganyo nngwe ya go ka tshwana gongwe le mo bangwe ba kileng ba go dira go titiro setšhaba ka gore ga national service ga ke itse gore yeo gongwe e ka tswa ya kantswa ka mokgwa o here tla re utlwa motlotlege tautona a buelo le gore ha go tla temothuong re solhetse gore re oketse thobo gararo triple our yield ka ha agriculture gongwe ha o ka nankola tse dingwe tse leng gore re dutlwe di buiwa mo tsholofetsong ya manifesto gongwe re ka solhela gore re ka utlwa di ka tswa le mo gompieno.
Manifesto bua dio tse dintsi o bua ka infrastructure development. One of the biggest projects mo infrastructure development ke go agwa ga matlo a le 100,000.
Yes.
Ke go service land in peri-urban areas.
Electricity and water 30% down.
So we see that production of solar electricity, solar, there is so much that is in the manifesto that I have come across. And for me, those are exciting things. In future, or today, because they have been put in front of us, we will now listen to the president arabolela gore mme gone go hiteng ko dilong tse tsote tsa re di beileng pele mo manifestong ra go dira ka tsela ntseng jang, because he needs to talk to that.
Right. Ha ke go tsenya mo dinako motho a gaetso mo nakong ye gone hela ha pele ga parlamente ha moragonyana ha re ntseng teng le re moseki tautona advocate Duma Boko wa heta tota ile tautona tloga heta mara ga rona re moseki o heta mara ga rona a patile yalo ke motsamaisa dipuisano tsa parlamente a tsamajana motho a gaetso a dumedisa ya ka ke go boleletse boididi jo botsetseng hantle ga ka ga parlamente batlotlegi ba batsetseng hantle go tla go moamogela mo parlamenteng ye go tsena le bone mo tirong ya parlamente the first meeting of the first session of the 13th parliament. Ba tsena yalo mo phuthegong e le ya ntlha ya parlamente ya bolesome le boraro ke gone jaaka ha bona yalo motho a gaetso gongwe ka tso sirwa ke bobega dikgang le ba bangwe hela mme se se ragalang mo tshwantsong se se hapele ga gago seo motlotlegi tautona o dumedisa ba setšhaba se se ka kwana ke sologela gore mokapa ditshwantsho o tla ipatlela phatla a kgone go tsena hatla le baganang le motlotlegi tautona teng e le se diragalang hantle ga parlamente dingwe tsa ditso tse re di bonang re bone jalo boeteledipele jwa puso e sa tswang go rola tsamaiso ya puso ya Botswana Democratic Party Boleha go simolla hela ka ene moeteledipele wa party Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi ba hano le matona a pele a mangwe ra ba bona hano ke batla go tshwaela ho
I think go mo ke so se sente thata mo ko mahatsheng a mangwe ha puso e change wa loa bangwe ba ngala re kana re bua ha re ne re le ko mahatsheng a mangwe gompieno bangwe ba huhile ka difofane ba sietse go South Africa bangwe ba sietse go America kana ba sietse kae hela ba re tshwanetse re leboga modimo mme ra leboga le Batswana le boeteledipele jale ha tsela Botswana gore ga rena dintwa tseo ga rena dikgothantsa mohuta o re bana ba motho re tshela mmogo go monate ke ntse ke ba lebile le nna le ka ha ba itumellanang ka teng wa bona gore go na le moa wa neelano. This is what we want to encourage in this country and also to take to other countries gore ba bone gore tsamaiso ke tsamaiso ya mohuta mang. These are the values that we must export.
Ke go kope gongwe o tsamae o rena diatlametse motho a gaetso ha ile gore ha re buang teng o ka tswa gongwe o kgorelediwa ke modumo ileng magoletsa botlhe bao ba ne ba le mo teng ga ntlo ya parlamente ke jaaka ha ba tshologela go boelela gape mo ntlong ya parlamente ba sena go gorosa yalo motlotlegi tautona ke re gongwe o rena diatlametseng a go gongwe o ka tsama utlwa e ka re modumo o ile go godimonyana le ana ke tsore nkutlwa se
a ke go tusente ya nno go boitumelo ka morago hela ka
go boitumelo tota ruri re bona jalo motlotlegi tautona wa pele ga tautona Masisi le ene a lehano ke bua ka Lieutenant General Sratsa Khama yen kham go hano Botswana o hano
thata go monate thata ke lona le hatsela mashile di notes le sa bolong go buiwa I think Botswana will adapt easily in heaven because this is heaven so they will easily adapt to heaven.
We did talk about the expectations to perhaps not totally reinvent the wheel. Yes. You did point out that perhaps not everything has been that which needed to change in the 58 years of the rule of the Botswana Democratic Party. I want you perhaps to speak to some of the successes that perhaps we hope are the converging points between the aspirations of the previous government and this, that we perhaps might not need to change all that much, except maybe the way we'd execute them.
Well, I think things like financial prudence, that is something that we have come known for around the world. Good economic stewardship, go thokomela itsholelo, re sa iseng, re sa those are the things to take forward. Robust institutions that can even be more robust. I agree with the president that they can even be more robust.
I want you to take that opportunity to speak to that. You wanted to add
I wanted to talk about
what is the value of having these institutions.
So there are a few things that make countries successful. one of the things that make countries successful is strong institutions. If you have a strong judiciary, if you have strong parliament, if you have strong oversight bodies, ombudsman, DC, EC, anti-corruption, all those things, you are likely to have a very a well-functioning society, a well-functioning country. So those are the aspirations that we should have to strengthen all these institutions. And I get a more manifesto, and I hope this is also going to come out today, more speeches is to further strengthen these institutions. I think we have seen a little bit of that, where they will be strengthened, because how can the ministry they will now be accounting to the National Assembly. That is strengthening the National Assembly. That is strengthening oversight. So there is a lot of positive things that are already happening even before the president sits down and gives us or stands up to give us his State of the Nation address. I think we are seeing where he wants to go. Absolutely. We are going to see the strengthening of judiciary. Promises have been made in this manifesto, and I believe Ronarle Botswana, we are going to hold this government accountable to deliver on these promises.
This will be an interesting seating in Parliament. As the Speaker of the National Assembly pointed out, the instruments that inform seating. So then that therefore means say the Botswana Democratic Party would have switched sides to where it is customarily set, and this morning, rather this afternoon, the Umbrella for Democratic Change sits on a different side of the aisle. Of Parliament.
Very interesting that in our lifetime we are witnessing this change. It's possible. I think for some people, but we are seeing these things happen right in front of our eyes. Maybe le go sna tsholo wa madi go saluwe go le monate go santse go smileiwa ra santse ra di tirong ra santse ra go re ka yang teng we accept the results of the elections and we are implementing it's implementing the will of the people, because by simply voting UDC in the majority, Botswana have exercised their will.
Do you know, I have heard former President Masisi use this phrase, use this sentence, "This is Botswana." I also have caught current President Advocate Boko say just those exact words, "This is Botswana." What do you want to say about that sense of national pride that we see even in the times?
I think we are proud of our country. Proud. Le Botswana hela ka bobone hela ba proud, and le batho ba mahatshe a mangwe particularly in Africa ba proud ka rona ka ha re dirang dilo teng ka teng gore dilo tsa rona di tsamaisa sesole, as would say. So everything is going according to plan. Sengwe le sengwe se thamaletse
ha bo ya ka go itsamaisa sesole. Ke go tsena ganong jana ka gore go tsamaya jana mo tsamaisa dipuisano tsa palamente ka motho motho ga gaetso o gatela jana a gata hape le ga mototlegi tautona ba gatela go tsena mo parlamenteng. Ke dumela ke re motsotso ro letileng wa tametse go le kalo jaaka ha bona yalo mototlegi tautona a tsena ka dikgoro tsa parlamente. Re moseke gongwe ke tla seke ke nne le mahoko a le mantsi ha mo nakong ye re tla siela ka ko parlamente mo nakong ye sa hediseng pele go tsena mo teng ga parlamente 1440 o gorogile hela jaaka motsamaisa dipuisano tsa parlamente ana bua ke yona nako e ne e buiwa ya gore ke yona nako e mototlegi tautona a tla ba rola jalo pego ya tekodiso ya botsogo ja setšhaba. Ta ke go leboga go nne gompieno jana, mme e tla re ha re sena go utlwa mahokwa e be re boela ka go go lona.
Ke a leboga mma, ke a leboga. Thank you.
Ke leboga yalo re ka bo moseki motho wa gaetsho motho re ka bo moseki ke moitsanape wa ditso tsa ditlhabololo a ne a tla ra tlhatlhela boitsana ka go ya ka boitsanape ja gagwe ditiragalo tse di diragalang gompieno a tshwaela mo go tsone. Motho wa gaetsho mototlegi tautona Advocate Duma Gideon Boko mo parlamenteng. A re kgabaganyetse ka kwa parlamenteng.
Order, honorable members. Honorable members, I'm pleased to inform you that the President of the Republic of Botswana, Mr. Duma Gideon Boko, will address this assembly, present his State of the Nation address. We were to arrange a podium. I think there was a miscommunication somewhere so that the President addressed this House standing. But because that arrangement has not been done, he will address you from the State Chair. Honourable members, it is my singular honor and privilege to present to you the President of the Republic of Botswana, Mr. Duma Gideon Boko. That's your... Over to you, Mr. President.
Honorable members of Parliament, esteemed citizens and residents, I extend my warmest greetings to each and every one of you individually and personally. May I request at this point that we pause and observe a moment of silence in remembrance of all our departed friends, relatives, fellow citizens and residents, including former members of Parliament. May their souls rest in peace, and in their memory, let us forge ahead with renewed purpose, working hand in hand to create a legacy of hope for generations to come. Amen. Mr. Speaker, the State of the Nation address is more than a ceremonial occasion. It is a moment when our nation stands united to celebrate triumphs, confront obstacles, and chart a bold course for the future. The annual address transcends reporting on government performance. It is a call to action that embodies the dreams and aspirations of our citizens. We gather here today to not only reflect on our past, but also ignite our collective vision to open and reveal a whole new spectrum of possibilities and ambitions, and thus set an agenda that will shape our socio-political landscape for years to come. I come before you today with a heart full of gratitude and pride as we celebrate the outcome of a democratic dispensation that binds us together. Botswana has just gone through a successful general election that stands out as a blistering testimony to the maturity of our democracy. The outcome of this election represents patent testimonials of the eloquent outrage of our citizens. The peaceful and orderly manner in which the process was conducted is a hallmark of our political culture. For all that, I want to extend my sincere thanks to each and every one of you for your active participation in the elections, in which you handed the umbrella for democratic change, the mandate to serve you and our country. We must consider ourselves a lucky generation, having had the privilege to witness a historic change of government following the rule of one party for nearly 6 decades. This change is further made special by the manner in which it happened, including the smooth transfer of power. For this, I must, on behalf of Botswana, thank my immediate predecessor, His Excellency Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Gaborone Masisi. He accepted the people's verdict. He gracefully passed on the baton. Indeed, he is a true statesman. This smooth transition marks a recasting, a deepening of the contours of our democratic vision. Botswana's commitment to upholding democratic principles and maintaining peace and stability before, during, and after the general election process speaks volumes about our collective dedication to the future of our great nation. For my part, as I said during the swearing-in ceremony, I am committed to leading our nation towards a brighter future. Mr. Speaker, this is the 13th Parliament. Many of the members of this esteemed House are new here, while some have been here before. Despite this, today, the 13th Parliament of the Republic of Botswana stands freshly assembled. I welcome all of you to this House. Your presence here evidences the trust placed on you by the people. Today, we stand at a pivotal moment in our journey together. This journey will be defined by unity, resilience, and a shared vision. It is inspired by those redeeming values and virtues that bind our country together. Mr. Speaker, our founding national principles of democracy, unity, development, self-reliance, and Botho are not just ideals, but essential pillars that have bound the nation together. Democracy ensures that every voice is heard and valued, fostering a sense of ownership and participation among citizens. Unity enables our nation to stand strong and together against any challenge. Development reinforces our resolve to focus on enhancing the quality of life and creating opportunities for all. Self-reliance encourages individuals and communities to harness their resources and capabilities to overcome the challenges of our socio-economic existence, thus promoting resilience and innovation. Lastly, Botho, which embodies courteousness, humility, and respect, nurtures social cohesion, solidarity, and mutual support amongst individuals and social groupings that constitute our society. By embracing these principles, Botswana will work together to build a robust economy and a thriving society, reinforcing the fabric of the nation for future generations. That is the cornerstone of our change philosophy. We must embrace opportunities that lie ahead and address challenges with unity and a sense of purpose as we work towards an inclusive and prosperous nation. True progress, Mr. Speaker, is only achievable when we come together across communities, generations, and ideologies. We need to work hand in hand to build a society where innovation flourishes, education empowers, and everyone has a seat at the table. We, together, will transform challenges into opportunities and dreams into reality. Mr. Speaker, the 12th Parliament witnessed a series of challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic, which claimed the lives of many Botswana and brought almost everything to a halt for close to 2 years. The drought that has affected this country over 2 consecutive years. Declining diamond revenues due to global market conditions. High unemployment levels, with overall unemployment at 27.6% and youth unemployment of 38.2%, as at the first quarter of 2024, and the country going through the most painful and harrowing experience on the 28th of March 2024, when 45 Botswana perished in a road accident near Mamatlakala in the Limpopo province of the Republic of South Africa. Let us also remember that prior to this, dozens of other lives had been lost on the A3 road. Mr. Speaker, these and other issues add to the litany of accumulated grievances that the 13th Parliament of the Second Republic must wrestle with. Transformative journey. Mr. Speaker, it is with great humility and a deep sense of responsibility that I address you today to mark the beginning of what in my solemn undertaking will be a transformative journey for Botswana. Robert Lee Frost tells us about two roads that diverged in a yellow wood and path, nor the one less traveled. I elected rather to take the road unseen and therefore never traveled, reminding myself every step of advance of the words of Arthur Schopenhauer. Talent is like a marksman who hits a target others cannot hit. Genius is like a marksman who hits a target others cannot see. As a country, we must strive along the road unseen. As your president, I am aware of the challenges facing our country. We are looking economic uncertainty dead in the eye. Diamonds continue to account for about 80% of our foreign earnings, but we shall overcome. The already high, almost 27% unemployment rate continues to worsen, but we shall overcome. The declining birth rate creates an existential threat to our future, but we shall overcome. We have only 78 years of coal reserves left at the current usage rate, but we shall overcome. The government is facing cash flow problems, but we shall overcome. We have to wrestle with social and infrastructural issues, but we shall overcome. Mr. Speaker, I have no doubt that we shall overcome. Though the two paths in front of us lead to either ruin or disaster at this crossroads, Mr. Speaker, walk with me, will you, as we take the path unseen and therefore never traveled. With me as your president and this nation by my side, Mr. Speaker, I say to you, we shall overcome all the odds. I have said before, and I will say it again, I've been down so many times. Down, don't bother me no more. We've inherited challenges left to us to resolve by the 12th Parliament. Together we will resolve them and build a stronger, inclusive, and more prosperous future. I have seen the bravery and might of Botswana firsthand. Lesego Chombo dared to dream and came home wearing the crown of Miss World Africa. She now sits in these hallowed chambers wearing the mantle of Minister of Youth and Gender Affairs of the Second Republic. Litsile Tebogo and Ross Branch dared to dream and came home champions of the world. They dreamt big dreams, dreams of immensity, dreams of intensity. There is nothing, I repeat, nothing that Botswana cannot do. Mr. Speaker, this moment demands both immediate solutions to stabilize our economy and long-term reforms that will lay the foundation for sustainable growth. It is a journey that will require bold leadership, strategic action, and the unity of every Botswana. I take you into my confidence. I share with you a vision for the future. I map out the concrete steps we will take towards a future that offers prosperity, opportunity, and dignity for all. The first 100 days. 100 days is not a long time, 3 months and some change. That puts us into February 2025. Already, I've had questions about what this 13th Parliament will do to fulfill our pledges and promises, and we made many. You want to know what this new chapter in the history of Botswana means for you. I treat these first 100 days with the courage, vigor, and seriousness they merit. As it is with any new relationship, first impressions matter. But unlike a fleeting dance under the moonlight, for this union to see the light of morning, consistency is key. I promise you that my first 100 days and my last 100 days will share at least one thing in common. That is, that each day will be treated with the same level of seriousness throughout. The first 100 days present an opportunity to demonstrate swift, decisive action while laying the groundwork for long-term transformation. The first 100 days is a period of renewal and restoration. In the first 100 days, we focus on 3 interconnected pillars: restoring trust, revitalizing the economy, and building equity. We will restore trust and good governance by 1, undertaking a financial and forensic audit. I've heard your voices. I've seen your messages. You want to know where your tax money has been spent. We will find that out and report back to you. We will do so. We do so not to subject anyone to targeted demonization. We do so to probe and examine the functional efficacy of our existing systems and institutions. Because these institutions are human artifacts, we can remake and improve them. We must design and roll out a robust institutional repertoire properly suited to the demands and challenges of the unfolding future. 2, strengthening anti-corruption institutions. You want to know that your tax money is safe with us and that we will protect your money. We will fashion a robust, independent, anti-corruption agency with the authority to investigate, prosecute, and eliminate corruption at all levels. Additionally, we will create digital transparency mechanisms to enable citizens to track public spending. 3, increasing transparency in government expenditure. You want to know that your money is being used to better the lives of all Botswana, not just a few. We will publish a comprehensive review of public finances to identify waste, corruption, and inefficiencies, followed by a plan for corrective actions. 4, respecting human rights and upholding dignity. One of our people is unable to rest, far from his home. Country road, hear him yearn, please take him home to the place he belongs. These words hit my soul like bolts of lightning, and now they leave my lips, and they will carry the soul of a son of the soil home to CKGR, where he can finally be at peace. On International Human Rights Day, the 10th of December 2024, the body of Pitseng Gauberekwe will be buried in the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. His ancestral home. Your government, that under color of court judgments denied him the dignity of a burial in his ancestral land, has now taken the bold steps of abandoning all those judgments and burying him. In this ceaseless quest to uphold dignity, we are unshakable. Civil service reform. You want a trustworthy, dynamic, and agile civil service that serves your needs. We will implement a code of conduct for public servants, and we will train them in accountability and performance. Economic revitalization. We will revitalize the economy and attract investments by 1. Establishing a legal reform task force. Foreign investors want to come here. Botswana has the highest credit rating in Africa with a BBB+ long-term and A-2 short-term Standard & Poor's rating. The only reason that they are not here yet is that there is unnecessary bureaucracy in doing business in Botswana. This legal task force will draft key legal reforms to make Botswana an attractive environment for foreign and domestic investment. It will do so in the shortest possible time, as time is of the essence. Creating economic incentive packages. We will announce a set of incentives to attract investments in high potential sectors such as renewable energy, agriculture, tourism, and technology. We are committed as the government of Botswana to participating in meetings, incentives, conferences, and events, MICE, and will ensure that there is positive impact for Botswana. Fast-tracking key infrastructure projects. We will identify and begin the implementation of strategic projects in transportation, energy, and digital connectivity to boost employment and economic activity. We are committed to working with local and global technology companies to rapidly prepare Botswana for the future. Engaging international partners. We will make our international partners aware of the reforms, opportunities, and new commitment to transparency and growth. On social development, we will build equity and social infrastructure by kicking off a national housing program. We will lay the foundation for an affordable housing initiative by mapping housing needs, identifying sites, and commencing pilot projects in urban and rural areas. Expanding social services access. We will launch immediate improvements in healthcare and education, starting with the most underserved communities. This will include mobile clinics, teacher training, and school refurbishments. Implementing youth empowerment programs. We will create opportunities for the youth through job training, entrepreneurship support, and internships in both the public and private sectors. Strengthening food security. We will partner with local farmers and farming institutions to improve agricultural productivity, including trainings and subsidies for essential inputs and modern farming techniques. Embarking on a national listening tour. I'm aware that the people of this country are smart, creative problem solvers. We will listen to you by conducting a countrywide tour to meet you, hear from you, and adopt your visions and goals and integrate them into your government's agenda. Launching citizen feedback platforms. We know that inspiration strikes haphazardly, and we will give your inspiration a platform to reach us by launching digital and in-person platforms to gather ideas and feedback from Botswana on reforms and development priorities. Undertaking a national service campaign. We will encourage citizens to participate in community improvement initiatives such as cleaning public spaces, planting trees, and volunteering in schools and healthcare facilities. Accountability and reporting. At the end of these 100 days, this administration will publish a state of progress report to the nation. This document will outline what has been achieved, challenges encountered, and plans for the next phase of transformation. Regular updates will maintain transparency and ensure the government stays accountable to the people. I repeat, my first 100 days and my last 100 days will be treated with the same level of seriousness. This first impression will be the theme of this 13th Parliament. The first 100 days will set the standard by which we conduct ourselves. If there is any deviation from the standard, it will only be that we have become better, not that we have regressed. This will not be an administration that delivers in the first 100 days, disappears for a few years, then resurfaces in the next election year, trying to buy your loyalty with short-term initiatives. These 100 days of renewal is not merely about quick wins. It is about setting Botswana on a sustainable path to prosperity, equity, and trust. Continuation from the first 100 days. Mr. Speaker, for too long, Botswana's growth potential has been constrained by outdated legal frameworks and regulatory hurdles. Investors, both domestic and international, require clarity, efficiency, and predictability to commit their resources. Without these elements, we cannot compete with nations that have created more business-friendly environments. In this regard, we will prioritize the following. 1, simplifying regulations, streamlining bureaucratic processes, and reducing red tape to make it easier for investors to set up and operate businesses in Botswana. 2, modernizing legal frameworks. We will update commercial, tax, and labor laws to align with global best practices, ensuring transparency and fairness in all transactions. 3, guaranteeing legal protections. We'll offer clear guarantees on property rights, intellectual property, and dispute resolution mechanisms to provide investors with the confidence they need. 4, incentivizing strategic investments. We will introduce targeted incentives in key sectors such as technology, renewable energy, manufacturing, and agriculture to attract investments that align with our long-term development goals. Attracting foreign direct investment is not just about capital. It is about fostering innovation, creating jobs, and transferring skills to our people. When the world looks at Botswana, they must see a nation that is open for business, fair in its dealings, and ambitious in its vision. Economic reforms must go hand in hand with social development. A nation cannot thrive when its people lack access to safe and affordable housing. The absence of a coordinated housing strategy has left many Botswana without stable homes, exacerbating inequality and stifling economic mobility. To address this, we will launch a comprehensive national housing program focused on the following. 1, affordable housing for all. We will work with local developers and international partners to construct housing that meets the needs of low and middle income families. 2, innovative financing models. We will establish low interest loans, rent to own schemes, and public-private partnerships to make home ownership achievable for more citizens. 3, sustainable urban planning. We will develop modern, well-planned communities with access to essential services such as schools, healthcare, and public transport. 4, revitalising rural areas. We will ensure that housing programs are not limited to urban centres, but also extend to rural communities, fostering balanced national development. Housing is more than just a roof over one's head. It is a foundation for opportunity. It provides stability for families, boosts productivity, and stimulates local economies. A strong housing program will also create jobs in construction, finance, and related industries, driving immediate and long-term growth. Will attract investments and improve housing. For these must be deeply connected. By creating a legal environment that encourages investment, we unlock the resources needed to fund large-scale development projects, including housing. Likewise, a robust housing sector provides the stability and infrastructure that investors seek when deciding where to place their capital. Botswana's transformation requires bold, coordinated action. Legal reforms will lay the groundwork for economic expansion, while a national housing program will ensure that the benefits of growth reach every citizen. Together, these initiatives will not only transform our economy, but also uplift the lives of our people, restoring pride and dignity to our nation. This is the path forward, clear, ambitious, and achievable. With your support and determination, we will turn this vision into reality, building a Botswana that is prosperous, equitable, and prepared for the challenges of tomorrow. Economic diversification beyond diamonds. Mr. Speaker, Botswana's reliance on diamond revenues has been our strength, but it has also made us vulnerable. The decline in diamond revenue by over 60% in recent years is a clear signal that we can no longer afford to depend on a single commodity. To secure Botswana's future, we must diversify our economy, focusing on sectors like tourism, agriculture, manufacturing, information technology, and healthcare. We know that Botswana receives more than 3,200 hours of sunlight annually and averages 21 megajoules per square meter, which is among the highest in the world. The potential of solar energy is immense. Botswana's climate requires robust solutions in the field of agriculture, so there is more food security. Botswana needs new industries in sports and entertainment because Botswana's creativity is infinite. Botswana needs factories for manufacturing. We must be able to say we have products and goods proudly made in Botswana, by Botswana, for Botswana, and for the world. Botswana needs to embrace the fourth industrial revolution, digitalizing access to basic services, enhancing connectivity to all parts of the country. Botswana needs a robust healthcare system that can compete at an international level, and more importantly, that is accessible to the citizens of this republic. To achieve this, this administration will launch several priority initiatives. We will establish a national development fund. This will be a government-backed fund to finance strategic national projects, support key sectors, and act as a key partner for foreign investors. This fund will help us drive economic growth, reduce dependency on diamonds, and build resilience in our economy. We will promote local industries and develop sectoral strategies. Through the launch of the national sectoral strategies, we will focus on strengthening our agriculture, food security, and manufacturing. These strategies will promote agricultural innovation, develop infrastructure in rural areas, and support local producers. Reducing imports while increasing local production will be critical to creating jobs and fostering sustainable economic growth. We will reform local capital markets. To facilitate financing for both public and private sector projects in local currency, we will launch a comprehensive reform of our capital markets, enabling businesses and the government to access affordable funding for critical projects. Expanding infrastructure. We will update and develop a national infrastructure plan focused on energy, logistics, and internet connectivity, critical pillars for modern economic growth. These improvements will provide the foundation necessary for private sector development and job creation across all sectors. job creation and skills development. Mr. Speaker, high youth unemployment remains one of the most pressing social issues. To ensure that young Botswana have the opportunities they deserve, we will prioritize job creation, skills development, and youth empowerment. Our initiatives will include 1. Vocational training and apprenticeships. We will launch nationwide vocational training programs and create apprenticeship opportunities to empower young people with hands-on skills for the workforce. Additionally, we will provide small business grants to encourage youth entrepreneurship and innovation. Strengthening education and job market linkages. Through initiatives like the Government and Enterprise National Initiative for Employment, GINI, we will ensure that our education system aligns with the needs of the job market. We will also provide resources for young people to acquire the skills most in demand by employers in emerging sectors. The National Housing Strategy. We will launch the National Social Housing Strategy to address both housing shortages and youth unemployment. This initiative will employ thousands of young people in the construction sector while providing much-needed affordable housing to our citizens. Public sector reforms and efficient resource management. Mr. Speaker, a strong, effective public sector is essential for the efficient delivery of services to our people. We will reform public sector institutions to make them more efficient, transparent, and responsive to the needs of Botswana. In the medium to long term, the following key work streams will guide our reform. The first, medium-term fiscal framework. We will design and implement a medium-term fiscal framework to ensure fiscal sustainability. This framework will help us balance government spending with available resources, restore fiscal buffers, and create the financial stability needed for long-term growth. Reform of state-owned enterprises. A review of key state-owned enterprises will be conducted to improve government and operational efficiency. By enhancing the performance of SOEs, we will reduce fiscal risks to the government and improve overall economic efficiency. Healthcare, education, and infrastructure improvements. Further action will be taken to improve access, quality, and efficiency in healthcare, in education, and infrastructure. We recognize that these areas are critical to social development and public trust, and we will invest in improving service delivery for all Botswana. Regional and international trade. Mr. Speaker, in an interconnected world, we must strengthen our national security and develop strategic regional and international partnerships. To diversify Botswana's revenue streams and open new markets for our goods and services, we will, 1, access international capital. We will begin to engage with international credit markets to raise capital for government development projects. This will help us address fiscal deficits, finance infrastructure projects, and promote Botswana as a favorable destination for investment. 2, promote trade partnerships. We will work closely with neighboring countries and international organizations to explore new trade opportunities. High-level government visits will be organized to strengthen ties with key trading partners and attract foreign investment to our priority sectors. Environmental sustainability. Botswana is blessed. Our natural resources, our natural environment, is one of our most valuable assets, and we must protect it. We will prioritize policies focused on environmental protection, climate change, mitigation, and sustainable resource management. Our initiatives include a national ESG strategy. We will launch a comprehensive environmental, social, and governance strategy that emphasizes green finance and positions Botswana as a leader in climate action. This strategy will attract international capital to essential sectors like renewable energy, waste management, and conservation. Next, renewable energy initiatives. We will invest in renewable energy projects such as solar, wind, and bioenergy, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels and creating new economic opportunities for our people. Conservation of natural resources. We will expand efforts to protect Botswana's unique wildlife and ecosystems, ensuring that our natural reserves remain pristine for generations to come. Ecotourism will play a vital role in both preserving our environment and generating sustainable income for local communities. Agriculture and food security. Mr. Speaker, agriculture has always been a cornerstone of our nation's economy, yet it remains underdeveloped in many regions. The challenges we face, from climate change to outdated farming techniques, demand bold and strategic reforms. This administration will focus on boosting agricultural productivity, enhancing food security, and developing sustainable farming practices that ensure long-term prosperity for all Botswana and bringing in new industries. Our initiatives will include the following: modernizing agriculture. We will promote the use of agricultural technology to enhance productivity. This includes precision farming, smart water management systems, soil enhancement technologies, and regenerative agriculture, which can help our farmers optimize crop yields, conserve water, and adapt to the challenges posed by climate change. Soil health and sustainable practices. We will encourage sustainable farming practices to improve soil health and ensure long-term agricultural productivity. This will not only help increase yields, but also preserve the fertility of our land for future generations. Boosting food security. We will invest in food processing industries to add value to raw agricultural products and reduce our reliance on food imports. By processing local crops into finished products, we will create new jobs, reduce waste, and improve food security across the country. Support for small-scale farming. We will ensure that smallholder farmers have access to the resources, training, and financing they need to succeed. Supporting rural farmers will be key to improving livelihoods, increasing food production, and reducing poverty in our rural communities. Introducing the cultivation and export of medicinal cannabis and industrial hemp. Through legalizing and regulating this industry, we will birth an industry previously unknown to our republic except through illicit trade. We will create jobs in this industry. This will facilitate the innovative use of hemp-based materials like hempcrete, hemp bricks, and hemp fiber panels. This will significantly reduce our dependency on imported construction materials and lower overall building costs. This will further push for the diversification of our economy. According to the global statistics, the cannabis market size was valued at $43.72 billion in 2022 and is projected to grow from $57.18 billion in 2023 to $444.34 billion by 2030, exhibiting a compound annual growth rate of 34.03% during the forecast period. North America dominated the global market with a share of 81.79% in 2022. Our forecast in Botswana is to significantly increase our GDP with cannabis and hemp-related products. Manufacturing and value-added processing. Mr. Speaker, in order to diversify our economy and create high-paying jobs, we must move beyond simply exporting raw materials. One of the most effective ways to do this is by investing in manufacturing and value-added processing. This administration will prioritize the development of key industries that process raw materials into finished products, creating jobs and increasing the value of Botswana's exports. Our initiatives will include encouraging industrial growth. We will invest in infrastructure and training to create a competitive manufacturing sector in Botswana. This will include focusing on industries where Botswana has significant potential to add value. Incentives for local manufacturers. We will introduce incentives for local manufacturers, particularly those that utilize locally sourced raw materials. This will include tax breaks, subsidies, and market access support to encourage businesses to establish production facilities in Botswana. Export promotion. Through the National Export Strategy, we will help local manufacturers reach international markets, further diversifying our economy and increasing our foreign exchange earnings. Through strategic partnerships and support for export-oriented businesses, we will aggressively push for the Made in Botswana brand to make our products stand out from the rest. Technological advancement. Mr. Speaker, government is committed to working with local and global technology companies to rapidly prepare Botswana for the fourth industrial revolution and drive meaningful economic transformation for our nation. We have engaged SpaceX and Starlink to accelerate efforts to extend affordable connectivity options to the entire country. With affordable, high-speed internet access across Botswana, citizens will have greater access to remote work opportunities, innovative educational content, and high-quality medical care, among others. This will lead to direct and indirect employment opportunities and a better quality of life for our people, whether they live in cities or the most remote villages. Starlink's planned infrastructure investment in Botswana will help transform Botswana into a digital hub for the entire SADC region, leading to increased employment opportunities, attracting further investment from global technology companies. Based on the commitment to enhance access to quality education, this government will accelerate the implementation of school connectivity projects through the Village Connectivity Program. By the end of November, we will have connected 100 rural schools, with plans to connect 300 more in early 2025. Healthcare. Mr. Speaker, our physicians, nurses, allied healthcare professionals, and administrators are often overlooked. Yet day by day, they dedicate themselves to serving our people in their most vulnerable moments. Mr. Speaker, I want them to know that we value them, we appreciate them, we love them. This government is committed to providing them with the support they need to better serve the nation. Together we will build a system that not only treats illness but promotes health through predictive and preventative care. We will roll out multiple initiatives to realize this vision. 1, a national mandatory health insurance scheme. 2, a universal health coverage plan for all citizens. 3, a national health digitization roadmap to modernize our systems. And 4, investment in infrastructure, capacity building, human resource development, and public awareness. The goal is to design, develop, and implement a sustainable health safety net that leaves no one behind. Cost-cutting measures. Mr. Speaker, it is our considered view that our country loses billions of pula to wastage due to poor management or negligence, or even subtle and clear-cut corruption. Consequently, the Ministry of Finance will at the appropriate time announce rigorous cost-saving measures, including: first, wastewater treatment. Water bills for senior schools exceed 300 million pula per annum. By implementing wastewater treatment plants, water substitution, and recycling, we can significantly reduce these costs. This estimate excludes savings from fixing leaks in pipes and storage tanks. Expansion of these measures to other institutions, such as the BDF, prisons, police, and hospitals, could further reduce expenses. Procurement costs. This government will ensure fair pricing for basic goods and services. No markup on procured goods will exorbitantly exceed the price of the goods from the supplier. Establishing standard pricing for essential items will control procurement costs. IT systems. Will assess the cost of government IT systems, including implementation, maintenance, and licensing. We will explore opportunities to empower local youth to develop and manage these systems, reducing reliance on expensive external providers. Implementing a pay-per-transaction model for system development, where service providers receive payment based on usage, such as with the driver's licensing system. This will incentivize system developers to maintain high service standards and ensure the system's sustainability until fully paid off. The Development Manager Model, DMA. The application of this model may have resulted in inflated project construction costs. This model will be reviewed to ensure fiscal sustainability. Rented properties. The government is not paying market value for rented buildings. A review of rental agreements and renegotiations will yield substantial savings. Agriculture programs. We will review Timoletlotlo, Tuoletlotlo, and Majayi Khorosa programs to ensure value for money. State-owned enterprises. We will minimize wastage within state-owned enterprises, strengthening public-private ownerships to attract external investment, including equity-based investment. Solar farms. We will implement grid-connected solar systems for institutions to produce their own power, leverage impact funds to finance solar initiatives, reducing the need for direct government funding. Artisan workshops and facilities management. We will develop low-cost workshops for artisans to provide services to government institutions, creating jobs and supporting local economies. Private sector involvement. We will encourage private sector participation in infrastructure projects such as roads, where investments generate revenue. The SADC House model is a successful example of such partnerships. Budget review. We'll conduct a thorough review of existing budgets to identify essential expenditures. We will assess each project to determine which should be government funded and which can be self-financing. international relations. Mr. Speaker, government is firmly dedicated to fulfilling its international obligations and remains committed to its membership in regional and international organizations such as SADC, the African Union, and the United Nations, among others. In this spirit, I would like to remember and express my profound gratitude to the men and women who served under the Southern African Development Community Mission in Mozambique, working tirelessly to establish peace and stability in the region. I also wish to pay tribute to those who lost their lives during this noble mission. We will enhance collaboration with our regional partners to ensure that Botswana's voice is heard in the Southern African Development Community and the African Union, further strengthening our role in regional and continental diplomacy. We will refocus our foreign policy to ensure that our advocacy voice is heard in the promotion of human rights, democracy, justice, good governance, peace, and security. The capacity of our diplomatic missions will be strengthened to effectively advance Botswana's national interests on the global stage. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, let me remind Botswana that we've set ourselves a lofty goal of becoming a high-income country by the year 2036, and we are left with only 12 years to achieve this goal. We were well aware of the commitment and demands it will take to achieve this goal, and as you all know, change does not happen on its own. Neither can it just be wished. As we develop our National Development Plan 12, we will begin the transformation journey enunciated in our manifesto. The plan will reflect our intent and demonstrate our willingness to make the necessary sacrifices to achieve our ultimate goal. As a society, we must be prepared to do things differently if we are to achieve different results. Let us remember that what kept us as upper middle income will not necessarily take us to high income. We will therefore put in place systems and processes that engender a culture of meritocracy aimed at transforming our government to become more agile and accountable. I appeal to every citizen and resident of this country to commit towards putting our nation, our Botswana, first in everything we do. Equally important is for the private sector and civil society to take their rightful roles to become the drivers and guardians of our development. The challenges we face are significant, but they are not insurmountable. By embracing bold reforms, driving economic diversification, investing in our people, and ensuring transparency in all government actions, we will build a Botswana that is resilient, sustainable, and prosperous. This is the Botswana I see, a nation where opportunities abundant, where young people have the skills and jobs they need, and where our natural beauty is preserved for future generations. Let us come together, as we always have, to build a brighter, stronger future for our nation. Bagaetsu, we have the responsibility to ourselves and to each other to make our aspirations a reality. On my part, I commit to spearheading the transformation of our government, society, and economy. This is therefore a clarion call for national transformation. Fatsileng, ke la rona rotlhe bagaetso, a re le tshwaraganeleng. God bless you all. God bless Botswana. Ya leboga. Pula.
e tsamaile ka tsela ntse jana motho a gaetsho tekodiso ya botsogo ja setšhaba mo ngwageng wa 2024 e le tekodiso yalo e leng gore tota e lebelela go tswa mo go ya bogelo ele ya ngwanatsele 2023 gore go tswa go hitlhagano tšhaba e mo seemong se se ntseng jang mme motho a gaetsho se gongwe ke ka se latlhelang kana ka se gakolola kana ga e le gore gongwe ke gone o kopana le rona ka se tshwaela ke gone gore tautona wa amile dintlha di le mmalwanyana a simolotsegela pele tota re simololega ka gore tautona o simolotsegela ka go tsa motsotso wa tidimalo go lemoga go ikgopotsa bao ba e leng gore ba re tlogetse e ne le maloko badiredi ba ntlo ye palamente o tla gakologelwa gore mo ha e sale tekodiso ya bogelo tšhaba eno e latlhegetswe yalo ke motlotlege Dumizweni Mthimkhulu ke latlhegetswe jalo ke motlotlege Likat Kable mme tautona o simolotse magoko a gago a tekodise ka gore lemotsa gore tota a marure re tšhaba e seego kana ke re tshela mo dinakong tse e leng gore bao ba re le mo botshelong re seego gore be le gore re tshela mo lehatsheng la Botswana le hetoga re bona ditso tsa lehatshe la Botswana le hetola kana le nalana puso go tswa ko mokgatlhong wa sepolotiki o mongwe go ya ko mokgatlhong o sele wa sepolotiki tautona o tshwaetse ntlha eo hela ko bosimolong ba tekodiso ya gagwe a ba a tshwaela le ka boleng janalano eo ke go gakolana motho a gaetsho ke bua ke le ka ha parlamenteng a re utlwa motsamaisa dipuisano tsa parlamente gore o bua eng mo motsotsong
I was pleased to deliver the State of the Nation address. For greater accuracy, I have obtained copies of this address for immediate distribution to all honorable members and to all our invited guests as they leave the chamber. Let me at this point add leave from the text and thank all of you for coming. Thank our former presidents, former vice presidents, former ministers, former members of parliament, the clergy, especially in a special way, the emissaries of His Grace, the Bishop Joseph Enyanas Lekanyane of the Zion Christian Church, the St. Enyanas Zion Christian Church, all the way from the city of Moria in South Africa. Baruti bote ke a le leboga magosi a rona, the business community, members of the diplomatic corps, leaders of political parties, le Botswana hela lote ka kakaretso ba le ne le tile tirong e tona e ke a le leboga. In addition, honorable members, our invited guests and honorable members are invited for refreshments in the parliament grounds. The protocol officers will show you where you are going. Order, honorable members. Honorable members, as we have come to the conclusion of the business of today's order paper, I shall now call upon the Honorable Leader of the House, Honorable Leader of Government Business, Honorable Mweti Caesar Muhasa, to move a motion of adjournment. Order, Honorable Botswana. Honorable Muhasa, can you move the motion of adjournment?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House do now adjourn.
Order, honorable members. Honorable members, the question before you is that this House do now adjourn. Order, honorable members. The question is that this House do now adjourn. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. On the contrary, say no. No. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.
And as the first meeting of the first session of the 13th Parliament is so adjourned, that was the State of the Nation address from His Excellency President Advocate Duma Boko. I want to just quickly get your final remarks after now having received the State of the Nation address. I want to first point out that this is, I think, the third occasion that His Excellency President Boko, when he stands to address the nation, acknowledges his predecessor as a true statesman.
Yeah, I think that is proper and in order. I mean, we're still in the early days of the transition, so it's only appropriate that he acknowledges him. I think he'll be doing that for quite some time, as much as it is necessary. So I think Botswana to acknowledge those that came before you.
Right. Let me just get your quick highlights from the State of the Nation address 2024.
I think the highlight for me, and this is not necessarily the detail of the State of the Nation, we had a very inspirational State of the Nation.
Yeah.
I am of the view that our leaders must inspire us into action. And I think that is what President Boko did today. He really inspired us. So sitting where I am, and I believe Botswana ba bangwe sitting where they are, ba gwethegile le bone gore ba tsenye letsogo ba tsenye maboko a bone mo transforming lehatshele, because the president is talking about taking a path never traveled. So clearly
path unseen and surely never traveled.
Yes, and this is something that he likes. I think I heard him talk about this Robert Frost poem at the funeral. So it's clearly a Robert Frost follower.
Yes.
He's very poetic. The president is very
Absolutely.
poetic. That is one thing that I like, because the speech is not just a speech. It is nice to listen to. So I think Tautona, being the poet that he is, he makes it interesting for you to listen and not get bored. So I was not bored as I was listening to him. And it was short and succinct. Last year when I was here, the State of the Nation address, I think, lasted for up to 5 o'clock, I think. But it was detailed. But this one has been short and succinct. The core message is that we are in a transformation journey. Things are going to change. And these are, I mean, he said a lot of policy priorities in what he was saying.
Let me just check on the other side, just interrupt you there to throw and check on the other side of the house where my colleagues Utsidilon Kabetse is. I think Utsidilon Kabetse is on the ready with where you are, TD, at this moment.
Ke go leboga one matota go nnile mo gontsi mo ileng gore Tautona Advocate Duma Boko o go buile gone mo his State of the Nation address tota bua di le dintsi a lebeletse tsone the next 100 days tse ileng gore parlamente yona bo lesomele gore re taba isimologa jalo me mona kunya gompeno re tlhalose jalo gone gore jaaka ama parlamente a tsena le apela kileng a tsena goroga jalo gongwe re buisane le bone mo sebakeng sa gompieno re na le jalo tona le re wa tona wa pele molebatsi ile gone gore mo sebakeng sa gompieno re gute re molebatsi le ikutetse go le gontsi gone gore mo the 13th Parliament the State of the Nation address in e buega jang the direction of it ga ke tsore gongwe in your opinion le ka buaeng le lebeletse gone gore no tota le na le sabe se golo mo the 12th Parliament.
Emma ke tswa go the 12th Parliament ne ke le motsatona go le phateng la temothuo ke ne ke le mo khuruthamaganya ya ga Tautona Masisi hitile me nka se buang ke gore nna ke itumetse ke a se itumella because ke bona gona le tswelediso pele ya tse dintsi tse re ne re di dira le mono wa gore re lebe mehama ya temothuo mono wa gore lebe mohama bodiragatsi mono wa gore re manufacturing re ire dithoto le ditirelo ke tsene re di bua ke tsene le gore tota gore go Botswana gore a eteng gore ne e tshulelo go godimo re thoka gore le bone mehama yone mme tautona advocate Duma Boko ga tsamaela kgakala le senentse tota re sa akanya re se dira mme se tshwanetse gore se lebogelogela thata o bua ka go tsweledisa go thusa temothuo segolo balemi ba ba potana ka go ba thusa ka di-incentives ya ka na bua ka di-subsidies kana ke one bo temo le toto le bothuo le toto le bo majai kgoros mme o bua ka gore o batla gore re seka mananeo one go siame mananeo a batla gore a seka-sekwa a banka nngwe ga e leng gore a thela teng kana ga e le gore ga tswele Batswana mosola re tswa mo gone mme ga la siame a banka nngwe ga a bua ka la merogo ne ke tshogile ke re gongwe ke tauta gongwe le la importation la go emisa merogo e tswang konte mme ga a bua Batswana ntse ba tshogile balemi ba ntse ba tshogile ka gone gore a ba tauta go tenya merogo yaanong e ka tsena e tswa ko South Africa mme ga go a buiwa go raya gore leo la tswelela leo mme all in all se gongwe se sešwa se re se utlwileng ke gore go tla letelelwa temo ya hemp medicinal cannabis se tla letelelwa mme ke kgato e leng gore e siame a re amogeleng a re lebele gore a re ka re tswela mosola o na bua dipalopalo santse re ta bona ga ke tura ke go le hatselehele le gore itsholo ile ko godimo ka gone gongwe ke gone mo go ka re thusa jaanong re amogela
ra leboga re mo lebatsi
ke a lebogamo
ene le tona wa pele wa temothuo mothusa tona wa pele wa temothuo re mo lebatsi le ene a bua gone gore tota maikutlo a gagwe ka tse e leng gore ne di buega segolo bogolo mo mohameng wa e leng gore na direla mo gone nako a santse a na le mo parlamenteng e ne e sa tswa go tswa ya bolesome le bobedi mo nakong ya gompieno a re bue jalo le yo re bue jalo ka le ba e leng gore gongwe le bone ba ka re ha boitsanape jwa bone mo mererong ya tsa bobegadikgang re beletse gone gore ba sebakeng sa gompieno ba ka bua go le kae ka se e leng gore se buile mo State of the Nation address re Ramodibi ka go amogela mo sebakeng sa gompieno maybe just to get your sense worth of maybe one or two critical issues that really spoke to your heart as a veteran journalist and what really spoke to you more the State of the Nation address.
Se ke se ratileng thata gore Tautona Boko a re 100 days wa gagwe wa tshimologo go tla tshwanela 100 days wa bohelo so go dira gore motho a nne le tshologela na lebeletse gore 100 days ka re tse re itse gore o tla ba bua to the manifesto ya go ela jang so go dita tshologelo mo gore di promise tse di teng mo manifesto re tere bona gore jaanong o tla di wedisa yang ke ratile gape le gore ga go bolo gona le debate telele thata mo Botswana ya gore gona le selo gate hempe bangwe ba re ke motokwane hela o tata o tisa boigagapi eno santsa o bua sentenyane le gore o tisa manyebe a madi mo lehatsheng ebile go santse go soletse madi ela a hetang $400 billion ka dingwaga tse di kopeletsele tse di tiswang ke hemp go supa re le rona ga re ka ipankanya sentenyane go tata se sengwe se ke se ratileng thata gore Botswana go letsatsi ya ka gona gampieno bona la ra apere dibakiane rasha mme ene o bua ka gore go tana renewable energy e ta tlhokomela thata re hethe motlakase re hokotse go ra go hokotsa economy ya rona go dependa thata mo ditemaneng gore jaanong e boele thata ka go tse dingwe gore ga ditemane di hela ka gore they are not forever be rena la re itshegeditseng teng o bua gape ka gore o ta tlhokomela ka hata ditiro tsa banana di ta hetiwa yang go thata go tsa metshameko tsa kgeleke yana le botaki jana ke tsone di tse dingwe tse nka di buang gore di nkgathile santse ke tabala speech se sentenyane ke se iketile gore ke te ke kgona go bua ka sone.
Thank you very much for your time. One of the veteran journalists by long more the media space lene a ha maikutlo ga go tebang le se le gore le se biwa ke Tautona Duma Boko ha mo se le gore na se bua mo the State of the Nation address le gongwe ke kgabaganyetse ka go go wena one le wena ka kong o re bolele ha se le gore o re se tsholetse
tla ke go amogela le nna tshedika kwano re santse le gone hano hantle ga dikago tsa palamente mme jaaka batlotlegi ba tswa ba thologa go tswa mo ntlong ya palamente re ntse re le ka go tshwaragana le bone go utlwa gore bone ba amogetse molaetsa wa tekodiso ya botsogo ja setšhaba jang ke na hano le tona wa lephata le le shago tlhongwa ebile a le mosha go tlhongwa mo palamente a le mosha go tlhongwa tona gape mme ebile gape a le mosha ene ke hano le tona wa banana le bong me le sego chombo tla ke tsena go emele sego chombo ke utlwa maikutlo a gago mo nakong e kana go gore re mo letsatsing la Men's Day dingwe tsa ditiro tsa go ke gender re a re lebile alo 16 days of activism against gender-based violence go ha tiro ya gago intsi
ke a leboga tota today is a great day. To the SONA, I marched with so many men as we commemorated International Men's Day under the theme Promoting Mental Health for Positive Masculinity, where we want to redefine what people see men as, because these perceptions and stereotypes have really placed a burden on our men. Maybe let's also to note gender. We want to promote women, which is a very beautiful thing to thrive towards equality and equity. We don't leave men behind, and today is a special day where we celebrate all the beautiful things that men have done, and most importantly, as you mentioned, the days the activism against gender-based violence are coming up. Botswana has some of the highest rates of gender-based violence, and we would like to note from every aspect, from society, from parliament, legally speaking, and so on and so forth. So I'm very thrilled that a lot of Botswana are really in tune with the topic, they're in tune with our reality. Are cognizant of this evil gender-based violence.
Okay. We'll catch up with you as you get into the work that is before you in your portfolio. Have you had time to get a briefing, get the state of the ministry this far?
It's been very thrilling, and I look forward to catching up more. But one thing that we know for certain is that we want to build all-rounded young people. I've been mentioning lately that youth empowerment, entrepreneurship, economic empowerment only, but we want to build an all-rounded, successful, mentally healthy, emotionally stable, financially capable and literate young person, an all-rounded youth.
Thank you very much, Honorable, and all the luck.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Alisa Khochoma Montagaetso Tshidi ke ne ke tshwaragane ya lene tona wa tsa banana le bong Honorable Alisa Khochoma me a bua le gore gona mme mana go nyere le mo go yone ya ka hara mogala tekodiso ya botsogo ba setšhaba ke nako e leng gore ene ya gagwe tiro mme semeletse jaaka moso wa gompieno na tlhalosa gore o na le mo mogwantong o wa International Men's Day mme tla re mo bekeng e tlang bo go simolalo malatsi a leng gore a obamelwa ke lehatshe ka bophara e le malatsi a kgatlhanong le khokhontsho ya bong tla ka bala ka go wena tshedi se di ka go swereng
one ke a go leboga mo nakong ya gompieno re na le jalo mothusa tona re Lawrence Okeditse mo sebakeng sa gompieno re buelene tona congratulations once again mo maemong a ileng gore wa tshotse mo sebakeng sa gompieno you're working more a ministry ileng gore go buegile go le gontsi mo the State of the Nation address. We're looking at a robust health system, we're looking at the changes of modernization tse ileng gore di sologetswe go ya ka se Tona advocate Duma Boko with specific reference to your ministry. What are your biggest expectations looking at the roadmap?
I think for Botswana, back expectations and all those, but as for us in the ministry and our colleagues, where we have a challenge, we have a lot of work to do. Me ke tiro e leng gore re ikemiseditse ke tiro e leng gore ke a re palela ke tiro e leng gore re ikanne gore ra go e dira so seleng teng ke gore ke ja ka tautona na go tse elenaneo le mmepa go ra kae kganye botlhokwa mo go rona ke gore batho mo Botswana segolobogolo batho ba eno ra go dikhutshwane ba tshwanetse ba kgone gore ba ka kgona go akisa botsogo bo bo rileng ka gore mathata ntseng a le teng ntse ile gore ha motho a sena madi ga a kgone gore o ka kgona go bona tlamelo tse di rileng tsa botsogo ka gore ha o tsena go sepateleng sa goromente ga ngwe gata gona dipilisi ga gona ngaka ga gona mo mme se rang go se dira jaaka tautona a buile ha re tsenya yone health insurance re buang ka yone jalo se se buegang ke gore go taba go raya gore jaanong Motswana mongwe le mongwe o na le madi o sena le madi ha o itlela e le gore go di pateleng tsa government a gona so se batang o tsa karatanyana ga gago ya medical aid ya ka mongwe le mongwe o bo ya go ile gore bonga ka boteng o bo khona go bona thuso mme se botlhokwa gape ke gore gare te go dira gore dige ditlamelo tsa botsogo tsa puso le tsone ra go di tsholetsa ke ja kana supa gore ra go lebela infrastructure ya teng re be re le ka go developa re be re lebella le gone gore re dire gore go nne le digital records e tere ha motho a le komosetse a nna komosetse a ba ya Gaborone a toketse dikarata le tse dingwe ha tsena go ngakeng ba tsena mo computereng ba bona gore nya mme ke loreng so ke ditse ke motho e lorena le history ya mohutao ya bolwetsi ba ba kgona go mo treata hala jalo e be le gore mo go nantse go twe ha ngwana a tshola a gona karata go se patela ene dio tsa maabane jaanong tota hela we are very excited about this at the end of it our dream toro ya rona ke go bona ile gore gona le adequate access to quality health care ke gore a mongwe le mongwe a nne le gone gore o ka kgona go bona botsogo bo borileng ke gone mo e leng gore a go itumelela and mme gore go direge go a go tsana konyana e bile go a go tsa tiro e ntsi go a go tlhoka gore ba rotlhe re bereke go sena opo gore nna kana ga ke tona wa botsogo ga ke mothusa tona ga ke dire ko botsogo mongwe le mongwe tshwantse a bereke a bereka itse gore mo pelong ya gagwe o tsentse gore ke direla ga tsela ga etso ga re ka diralo re ta kgona nna ke na le tumelo e tona ya gore ra go ithella maitlamo le maikaelelo a rona
tona ke a go leboga
ke a leboga thank you
ene le jalo mothusa tona mo lebateng la botsogo re Lawrence o keritsa bua ka segolo bogolo dintha tse le gore di ama le tswelelo pele e leng gore matona kgotsa parlamente ya gompieno ipele pele gone mo the State of the Nation address e leng gore e ne bua ke ene Tona Advocate Duma Boko a nangkola ka botalo dikgantsa digitization infrastructural development e leng gore di a buega le the health insurance scheme e leng gore Batswana ke dumela jalo gore ba sologetse go le gontsi a tebang le botsogo jo bo lolameng jo e leng gore ba bo solohetse mo nakong ya gompieno one ke go he sebaka
ke go leboga tshedi tla ke go leboga tshedi ka kwano ke kgonna go tshwaragana yalo le mo parlamente wa ga Malete re Boniface Mapeo re mme bile tota bile ene ele mueledi wa semmuso wa party ya Botswana Congress Party mo parlamenteng re sotla ke tsena ko e ke go amogela ke re ha ke go amogela yana ke simolle ka gore le ka ha le tlhakoreng le ka ha la parlamente across the aisle la mogetse yang State of the Nation address
nyama re se utlwile State of the Nation address re se utlwile tautona o buile le ka masonyego kana sa se fitlhetseng a ba bua le bunyenyane ka tsela e yang go pele gore tla tsamaya tsela e ntseng jang gona re utlwile ke State of the Nation sa ntlha tota ga ele sa ntlha yana ga onko gongwe o nne kana o solofele mo go tona thata kana gongwe o criticize thata gone mme go na dilo tse pedi tse tharo tse re lemogileng tse ne re ipotsa gore mme tsone ne re litse gore ka benne di supegile mo State of the Nation address
e bong
jaaka ke for example UDC ina le maitlamo one a ne dirile itse ipapatsa ka one for instance bo 1.8 pension jalo tanda ba letla 1.8 jalo gone la ga di sa tswa di utlwala ga kana di bonala di le kalokalo ne le dingwe tse ne re le itse gore gongwe re ka utlwa tautona tswela bua ka tsona gore tsela pedi re tsa efe a re gorogile a go tla dira ga jalo ya ka ke bile tota ke State of the Nation sa ntlha yano tla se ke re ne re mosonye thata ka gore re tla mfashang se gone mme like another thing se ne re le itse gore ka ba re se utlwile mo teng constitutional review ra itse gore molao motheo wa Botswana o tshwanetse gore o ntshwafadiwe o tshwanetse gore o baakangwe re utlwila bua ka one mme yano dilo tsa di-time frame di botlhokwa thata gore re itse gore dilo tse ra go dira mo nakong e kae ya ka go gopola maloba fale ne re ngwa gore ga re le di-party re bua ka Botswana Democratic Party BDP ne re busa gore gantsi ba bua dilo mme ba sa bue gore ba go di dira mo nakong e kae di-target di-time frame gore mme ra go tshebelo tse ka gore go bua ke go bua fela ga go sena di-target le di-time frame gone go a warisa ke dingwe tsa dilo tse re di boneng dingwe tse ne re le itse gore ka se utlwa segolobogolo electoral reform electoral reform ka gore ro tle re sa le re ntse re ngongorega ka tsamaiso ya ditlhopho tsamaiso ya yotlhe ya ditlhopho fela ke gore ne re itse gore gongwe re ka be re utlwila bua ka sengwenyana mme ya ka ke bua tota ke state of the nation sa ntlha chance
go santse go le gale ra mme sengwe se gongwe state of the nation e harologaneng le tse dingwe ya ka re tlwaetse ka ditso ke gore go tswa go November 2023 go tla mo go November 2024 tautona ga ya go gongwe sologelo ke eng gore re utlwa gore a ke re Batswana mo nakong e re emetse go utlwa gore mme gona a mme madi a teng e lengwe ya dio tse Batswana ba di botsang gore gongwe ga ra tsena ho mo goreng go ntse go iragalang in the past 12 months mo pegonnye le go amogetse jang kana le sologetse gore go tla nna jang
gone o tautona o buile la habile go le go nyenyane gone ga tsenela thata mo go bueng gore re tswa go kae ke tsa gore rotlhe ra itse gore go na le mathata ra itse gore Botswana ntse sa tsamaye sentle itsholelo kana dilo tsa ke re dira affecta le mo malapeng ke tsa gore o itse re fela yalo ga ke tlhaloganye kana ke itse gore gongwe ke na sa remella mo go yone thata go tlhalosa go re tswang teng mo jareng e re tswa mo go a ka re tsela gore lefatshe gone mme ga la tsoga a bua ya le gore re tshwanna gore re senkeditsela tse diša gore ra tlhabolole lefatshe le ka kwano re tla nna re ntse re lebile re tla nna re ntse re botsa ka la bone ke tsa gore tautona wa me dumelang sa leshando wa Botswana Congress Party o tla ba a fa pego a gagwe kana a responda ke tsa gore le ko re tla tsenya dipotso tse re tebe re ntse re di botsa le rona re supetsela gore mme gone re bona gore Botswana re tshwanetse gore re mo tsaye re mo ise kae ka gore tota re tshwanetse gore re mo tshwaraganne ra itse ba rotlhe
go ntse jalo gore mo letsatsing la gompieno re bone kana ke ditso tota ke la ntlha party e neng e busa e ntsha tota marapo a tswa mo go yona a ya mo go esele mme re bone go tshologile babusi ba pele kana baetedipele ba pele matona a pele tautona wa pele o sa tswang go tswa gompieno lona ha re bua ka gore gompieno go hetoga go tswa mo go party lengwe hela go rebele ha tsela mo party yengwe ke aka ha puso ya rona batho e gola the maturity of our democracy le tshwaela yang ka go mme bile re bua ka se re se boneng se iragala gompieno mo parlamenteng
maeso re Batswana re batho ba kagiso re batho ba ntogolo ke a molomo re batho ba therisanyo morero re batho ba re seng tota re batho ba ba oleng dibete go ntle go bona go ntse yana ka gore ke lefatshe la rona lefatshe le ke la rona ba rotlhe tautona o busang gampieko gongwe tsa tleleng o tla ba tshile e le tautona dumelang a le mo stilong go tla bo go le matshwanedi ke ka forentseng ka teng ke ka fore tshwanetse go nna ka teng tota re Batswana botlhe Botswana o kwa rona rotlhe go a kgatlha ebile go ntle ke tsaya gore le mafatshe a bapile le rona ba ithuta gore dilo tse tsa go amogana kana go fetola puso ga se dilo tse e le gore tshwanetse gore di tsise ke tsaetsego e ntseng jalo gape go lo mo go tsisa confidence le mo Batswaneng gore ka moso e re ba tlhopha ba itse gore la ba ka fetola goromente ba tlabe ga go ke ga senyega sepe re Batswana ga re batho ba ntwa ga re batho ba dilo tse di maswe
ke go lebogela Ramabeo right ke ne ke buisana yalo le re bone fas bashi Mabeo ene le mo parlamente wa kgaolo ya ga Malete me mo parlamenteng jana e le sebueledi kana spokesperson wa party ya Botswana Congress Party ena tshwela jalo le ntwa sa tsema hoko a ga leader of opposition jaka ha go solhetso gore re kala bone leader of opposition re dibela sa leshando e be le gore yanong wa tsiboga a tsibogela pegoye ya botsogo ba setšhaba e re tsatswang go ya mogela mo eno city ga ke tsole ka ko o tshwereng okay tshedi go ngwana sa tshwara ope mo nakong e mme ga re no se rena gape le wa mekgasodi a le ka ko ditanteng tse neng setšhaba se sa kgona go tsena mo teng ga dikago tsa parlamente di tsa tiro e ka tlhamallo go tswa teng wa me ka ko o bonang ka ko o tshwereng okay tshedi go ngwana sa tshwara ope mo nakong e le wa mekgasodi sa kgona go tsena mo teng ga dikago tsa parlamente di tsa tiro e ka tlhamallo
ke a go leboga one mme hela manako ya gompieno ka tlhalosa jalo gore mo molaetseng wa gagwe Tautona o tlhalositse gore puso e itlama go baya matsholo a Batswana kwa pele go a tlhabolola e dira jalo ka go tlhabolola mehama e harologanyeng go tokagatsa matsholo a Batswana ka kakaretso go akarediwa a banana mme manako ya gompieno ke na le mongwe go tswa ko mokgatlhong mongwe wa bana mme manako ya gompieno nka tlhalosa hela yalo gore ke na le mongwe wa banana ka kwano o tla re tlhalosang tota gore mo moletsong wa ga Tautona bone ba ka tswa ba itshebetseng ra go leboga re ke a betso sanao ka tlhosa le gore na le ba mokgatlho wa banana manako ya gompieno ka tlhosa hela le ratile ke na le mongwe wa banana ka kwano
ke bitso ke a betso Alex Sanao from Botswana Youth Ahead organization. This is an alliance for the young people.
Go buisana le go dumedisa bao ba tshologetseng ka kwano go tsa go lebelela le go utlwa pego ya gago hela ka le bona go ntse alo ke boitumelo jo bogolo Batswana ba itumetse yalo go kopana le Tautona wa bone mo pusong ye ntšha ke bona gape Speaker of the National Assembly revitalising ke o rapetse a patile Tautona yalo mme go boitumelo batho ba dumedisa jalo Tautona gongwe re ka lebelela jalo gore go diragala mo setshwantshong tota hela jaaka na tlhalositse mo pegong ya gagwe gore o batla go bereka le Batswana o batla go rena kagiso o batla go nne le tshwaragano gore batle ka tshwaragano ya bone ba kgone go isa lefatshe leno kwa katlegong Tautona o tsene jalo mo tenteng yone e leng gore setšhaba se ne se tshologetse ka kwano go tla go lebelela pego ya gagwe le go mo utlwa sentle ba le ka kwano go tla nehela yalo bona jalo batho ba letsa megolokwane tota ba supa boitumelo mme seo se ruta lo gore tota ba itumeletse molaetso wa ga Tautona molaetso wa ga Tautona o buile le tseneng ba sologetse tota gore ba tla utlwa mo go one molaetso wa ga Tautona o na le tsholofelo e ntsi mo matshelong a bone ke ne ke tlhalositse a lo tota gore ke na le mongwe wa banana tota go tswa ko mokgatlhong wa banana o dilang le youth empowerment mo go tsa mo dintlheng di le dintsi tota di akaretsa thuto di akaretsa temothuo ke na le re ke a betso sana gone ga gore tlhalosetsa gore bone e le mokgatlho o wa banana molaetso wa ga Tautona o ba tsholetseng ba itumeletseng ka one ebile ba sologela eng go ya pele
ke itumetse thata re itumetse thata as the Botswana Youth Ahead organization after receiving this